Mornings in New York City usually begin with a cacophony of sounds, smells, and endless traffic, but for Melanie Parker, a driven and talented architect, it promised to be special. Today was the culmination of her months of work presenting the design for a new cultural center that could transform a neglected area of the city. With anticipation and slight excitement, she rose, knowing that her career and the opportunity to realize her ambitious dreams depended on this presentation. Gathering her son Sammy, an energetic and inquisitive little boy, she hurried to the home of Jack Taylor, father of Maggie, Sammy's classmate, to get them both to school. Jack Taylor, a charming but somewhat absent-minded reporter absorbed in investigating a high-profile corruption case, finds himself at the epicenter of the morning's chaos. His ex-wife, who unexpectedly flew off on a wedding trip, has left Maggie in his care, but Jack has completely forgotten about the school field trip scheduled for that day. As Melanie and Sammy pulled up to Jack's house, it was clear they were late. The bus taking the children on the long-awaited river cruise had already left. The disappointment on the children's faces and the guilt mixed with irritation on Melanie and Jack's created an atmosphere of tension. They realized that they were going to have to spend this crazy day together, maneuvering between work, important meetings, and looking after two energetic tomboys. In a rush trying to make up for lost time, they jumped into the same cab. In the hustle and bustle, overwhelmed with stress, Melanie and Jack accidentally exchanged their cell phones. This seemingly minor incident became the catalyst for a series of comical, ridiculous, and incredibly tense situations. Melanie, whose phone had been ringing off the hook with calls related to the presentation, was now forced to deal with Jack's work-related questions about corruption schemes and anonymous informants. Jack, for his part, was trying to answer calls from Melanie's co-workers, drowning in architectural jargon he was completely ignorant of. Melanie was desperate. The Cultural Center project was her brainchild, her passion. She dreamed of creating a space that would inspire people, unite different cultures, and give everyone the opportunity to realize their creative potential. Not only her future, but the future of the entire project depended on this presentation. The constant calls and confusion with Jack's phone were throwing her off balance, undermining her confidence and confusing her. An internal battle raged within her between ambition and maternal instinct. She wanted to be successful and fulfilled, but at the same time she felt a tremendous responsibility for Sammy, whose day had been ruined by her busyness. Jack, for his part, was on the verge of a breakdown. He was tracking down an important informant on whose testimony the fate of his investigation depended. He felt he was close to exposing a major criminal network, and every missed call from Melanie's phone distanced him from his goal. The publication of this article could have been a breakthrough in his career and could have benefited the entire city. But on this day he was haunted by failure and felt helpless, like a puppet in the hands of fate. Sammy and Maggie, left without their long-awaited cruise, were disappointed and depressed at first. But gradually they began to find common ground. They played impromptu games, organized competitions, quarreled over silly things, but quickly reconciled, as all children do. They shared their dreams, fears, and secrets, and by the end of the day they had become true friends, bound by common troubles and adventures. Throughout the day, Melanie and Jack called each other constantly, trying to coordinate their activities, relay important calls to each other, and arrange short meetings to pass the kids around for a while. Each meeting turned into a chaotic and comical spectacle. They ran into each other in crowded cafes, in noisy parks, on busy streets, exchanging phones and children, throwing hurried apologies and inarticulate explanations at each other. These moments were full of tension, but at the same time something human, spontaneous, and even funny slipped into them. This crazy day culminated when Melanie was stuck in a huge traffic jam, realizing that she was catastrophically late for a presentation. Despair swept over her head. She knew that if she was even a minute late, all her efforts would be for naught. At this critical moment, Jack, forgetting his own problems, offered Melanie his help. He volunteered to watch the kids so she could make it to the meeting on time. Melanie was very grateful and accepted Jack's help, but her uncertainty and anxiety did not leave her. She arrived at the presentation site at the very last minute, disheveled, exhausted, and full of doubt. After gathering her courage, she took the stage and began to speak, presenting her project with incredible enthusiasm and genuine passion. She talked about her dream to create a place where art is accessible to everyone, where people can find inspiration and express themselves, where the boundaries between different cultures and social strata are blurred. While Melanie performed, Jack tried his best to entertain the children. He took them to the zoo, bought them colorful balloons, told them exciting stories, and fed them ice cream. He did everything he could to keep Sammy and Maggie happy, despite all the turmoil. He found an unexpected ability to be caring and attentive, forgetting his absent-mindedness and focusing on the children's needs. By evening, the children, tired after a busy day, fell asleep right on a park bench. Jack sat beside them, watching their calm faces, and felt a rush of warmth and tenderness. He realized that work was important, but family, children, and simple human values were the most important things in life. At that moment, he realized that the pursuit of sensation and fame was not worth the sacrifices he was making. Melanie's presentation was a triumph. The investors were fascinated by her ideas, vision, and passion and unanimously decided to back the project. Melanie was jubilant as she felt her dream begin to become a reality. In the evening, as the sun began to set, coloring the sky in soft pastel hues, Melanie and Jack met to return each other's phones and pick up the kids. They were both tired but satisfied. Melanie thanked Jack profusely for his help, and Jack congratulated Melanie on her incredible success. During the goodbye, a spark ran between them. They looked at each other with completely different eyes. They had gotten to know each other better during that crazy and unpredictable day than they had during any previous chance encounters. They saw each other not only as parents of their children's classmates, but as attractive, interesting, and deep people. There was more than just gratitude and politeness in their gazes. They exchanged phone numbers without any hesitation and promised to call each other. Melanie and Jack realized that their relationship could be complicated and unpredictable, but they were willing to take a chance and see what would happen. They believed that this chance meeting and this crazy day could be the beginning of something special, something beautiful and long-awaited. A day that started with chaos and confusion, ended with hope, the possibility of new love, and the realization that even in the most difficult situations you can find something good. Meet people who will change your life. Sammy and Maggie, without realizing it themselves, became the catalysts for this fateful meeting. They became the invisible thread that connected their parents and gave them a chance at happiness. This day was the beginning of a new chapter for Melanie and Jack in their lives, full of surprises, adventures, and hopes. They felt that something bright and beautiful was ahead of them, and they were ready to meet it together.